2, 3, and... Well, this one's going to really be on the seat of our pants here.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I'm fine. I can talk.
Yeah, I know. But is it going to be interesting?
I have no idea.
So you don't want to look at my notes?
No.
I brought you a set of notes.
Oh, but you never do. You always do you never do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to read.
You don't have to read. These are just my notes.
But you've never given me your notes
I have
before.
4 sets of notes here.
You've never given me your notes before. You want to pass them out to the people in the bar?
Do you think they'll be interested?
No. I think they'll be annoyed.
What's the deal that you just don't want to have notes? You just want to talk.
Yeah. No, but the thing is that you've never given me notes before to these other weeks.
Right.
You
So
have them.
this is the other week.
And you've never given me your notes. So I don't know why you're starting now. Not very interesting.
I'm telling you, it's not interesting. You need notes.
Listen.
Oh, you give me back my notes.
I don't want the notes. I don't want to read.
So
We do a script for the other show.
I know.
But you always come up with these great ideas, but you've never given me the notes. You've never given me that. I don't really want them.
Well, I didn't come up with great ideas this time. These are just not great ideas. These are kind of boring.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And not only
folks.
that, you wrote me like about a half hour ago and you said, "What's this program about?"
I did. You told me before, but I forgot.
That doesn't, look good.
I had a chance to pee maybe twice today. That's how long. I just keep running all day long.
My God. So what was your day like?
It was okay. It was all right.
But you were running.
Always.
Oh.
Never get all my work done. Always running. We had all day at school, and then we had a parent workshop, and it was exhausting.
And we got here at 5 napkins late.
Mm-hmm. A little late, yeah,
A
than
little
our
late
usual.
because you had you had to work with a parent workshop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So why do we keep doing this? This podcasting
we like
stuff.
it.
Yeah, I do like it, but I don't get it. It's like, why do we like it? I don't know. I do like it.
Because we're weird.
I guess we are. I guess we're kind of weird. Well, this is Barcrawlradio Radio. We're at 5 Napkin, and today we're going to talk about rent versus owning a home.
Oh, I know the answer.
I know
the answer.
When I brought this up about 4 days ago, you had all kinds of things you wanted to say about it.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's rent versus owning.
Got it.
Okay. And I think we should first like say we've been renting our whole adult life. We've never owned a home.
More than that, when I was growing up, my mother always rented apartments.
Well, when
when
your mom and dad were together, you had a home.
They had a house, yeah.
You had a house.
In Lompoc.
Right. And I grew up in a house. I grew up in a house in Brooklyn, a brownstone.
Right.
And then we had an apartment in
And they
North
were
Carolina.
houses your families owned.
They owned that, right?
Yes,
they owned that
right.
house.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lived in a house in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Right.
And they owned that house.
Did they own it? Or they rented it?
Or they had a mortgage on it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think they rented. And then we went down to Miami, lived in an apartment, and then we moved into a house and lived at 1351 Northwest 132nd Terrace.
I remember my address from when I was 6 years old, 621 Lemon Street.
621 Lemon Street in Lompoc.
Lompoc.
Mm-hmm,
that's how you pronounce it.
Right. And we were at 1351 Northwest 132nd Terrace in North Miami.
621 Lemon Street, that's all I have.
Did you enjoy living in a house?
There were some good things, some other not so good things.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt. It's like there were some good things about living in a house.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to do yard work, so,
Why? Oh, your brothers did it.
I don't know who did it. I didn't have to clean the house.
That's right, when you were 6 years old.
I didn't have chores. No, it was funny because I didn't have chores, but my neighbors, Pam Minnick and her brother, they had chores, and so when I'd come over to their house to hang out with them, they would make me do their chores. They really abused me.
Were they older? Were they older than you?
I guess a little bit. Yeah.
So what kind of chores would they have you do?
I cleaned the bathroom sink and things like that.
Did you do a good job?
Yeah, I did a good job. I was very.
I mean, did you think like this was like
I
playing,
really
like
enjoyed
this was a
it
game?
too, like rubbing it and getting it all clean.
All clean and shiny.
Yeah.
And you know what? You still do.
I still clean the bathroom.
That's your chores. You
That's
clean
my
the
chores.
bathroom.
I know.
I have the refrigerator, which by the way is a mess. It's a
It's
real
not so
mess.
bad. It's not so bad.
I enjoyed, I mean, I'm thinking now, because I was thinking about how much I love renting, but now I'm thinking I kind of like living in a house. I mean, in a way. Because I like doing, like, mowing the lawn.
You do.
I did like mowing the lawn.
I mean, because I would say if somebody said to me, what's the upside of living in an apartment is no lawn,
Yeah.
no yard, no yard work, none of that.
Well, I didn't like all the yard work, but I did like mowing the lawn. There's all these straight lines.
Right, yeah.
And our grass is really thick.
Did you have a power motor, or was it?
It was
did
a
you-
gas, and it didn't always work. So I remember Dad was always trying to get it going.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an electric
Did you
mower.
have to pull the ripcord to get it
had
going?
to, had to rip it. Had to give it a big ripper. And
Excuse me.
a lot of times it wouldn't go. And he would work hours on that lawnmower because he didn't
Really?
want to buy a new one.
You didn't want to. Yeah, of course.
Right.
Do you think
Giving it
you
more
think he
show.
carried it with him from North Carolina? And
No.
not from
no.
Brooklyn. You know yards in Brooklyn.
No yards. No, we didn't have a yard in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
No, but
stoop.
we had this luscious green grass because my father brought in sludge from the water plant where he worked. And we would spread the sludge. I didn't like spreading sludge. That wasn't fun.
My mother and I lived in houses sometimes.
Yeah.
When she would,
But you were renting. You
she'd
weren't,
rent
you
a
didn't own
room, right? And so we lived in a house in Thousand Oaks, California, which was a nice area. And we rented a house from a woman who was I think she worked she was a technician. I think she worked in some kind of a blood bank or something. And she would bring blood home to fertilize her flowers. Gross, right?
it. That's about as gross as bring home sludge.
Yeah, I think it's grosser. Well, I don't know.
Sludge is like that stuff that's left over after you've treated the sewage.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I mean it was, but the grass loved it.
Right, I'm sure.
The grass was in love with the sludge,
Yeah.
right?
Gave you a beautiful lawn. And your father grew roses.
And he grew roses. He used the
Yeah.
sludge for that too. And he grew tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
We had tomatoes out of treated shit, so to speak.
Yeah,
And they were delicious tomatoes.
I bet, yeah.
They were very, very, very yummy.
And now your sister has a vegetable garden in her yard.
Vegetable garden. She has a house.
And we like visiting them and sitting in their on their patio.
And my brother has a house.
I like visiting other people's houses.
Exactly.
Like our friends Barbara and Robert
Mackenzie.
McKenzie,
They're
who
upstate
let
house.
us stay at their home while they were away.
But we didn't have to take care of it at all.
Well, no,
We didn't have to do.
No, we left it clean.
Well, we left it clean, yeah, but we didn't have to repair the roof or anything.
Right. So it's nice. So it's nice to live in an apartment and know people with houses.
Right. But my question when I was thinking about this, because again, I actually think about these shows before I do them, unlike you, who just kind of show up and have your martini.
Honey, we're talking about renting your body.
I want to be you. Yeah, it's like, why?
You do not want to be me. Okay, you go and teach those kids.
No.
You go and you talk to your boss and
No. Don't want to
go
do that.
ahead. I'll trade. I'll stay home. I'll trade you.
What is it? I was with our good friend Paul. We were having wine on 52nd Street, a place called Ardesia. Very nice place. And I'm having wine now, too, at 5 Napkin. But I was asking him, like, the American dream is to have a house, have a home. I mean, that's been spelt as the
It's a
American
sign
dream.
of success, I guess, that you can afford to buy a home.
Yeah, we're really not people to talk about that. Because,
We
I mean,
just
I
don't
asked
care.
him, and he said, well, people like to buy homes because they own it. It's
Right.
theirs.
It's their property. Well, also
it's their
too,
property.
I mean, there is something to that in that you have equity then and some value in something that you can hand down to your children or sell and live off for your retirement.
Okay, that's the other argument.
But then, I think that those homes cost them money too.
That's the other argument.
I
About
mean-
whether or not home ownership is a financial
Gain.
gain. You
Right.
gain. And in some ways you do, but in some ways renting is better.
Right. I mean, we don't have any expenses
No.
that a homeowner has. Nothing.
No.
We don't have to pay a plumber. We don't have to pay an electrician.
No.
We don't have to.
Something goes wrong with the water, we call someone in.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, the bathroom
I know.
plug is like really clogged up.
Okay, thanks, honey.
No. It's both our faults.
No, I'm just saying. I just don't think that our listeners give a fuck. Okay.
It's an example. It's just an example because now we can call in the janitor and we can say, "Hey, handyman,
yeah, right.
get your machine there, your snake
it out, yeah.
And like
We
just
have
pull
to
it out.
tip him,
Yeah, I give him some money, but
you know, it's nothing like what you'd have to pay a plumber.
nothing like my brother-in-law has to pay, or your brother would have to pay to get a plumber to come in and do it.
Nope.
You
and
know,
Paul, they had a big leak in their kitchen. They had to get the whole kitchen redone.
I mean, they spent many
Tens of thousands of dollars,
yeah.
probably. Yeah.
I think it was tens of thousands of dollars.
Yep, I'm sure it was.
And we don't have to do that.
No.
But when they put money into, paying off the mortgage, it's money going into the ownership of that house.
Exactly.
When we pay rent, that's all it is. It's like it's gone.
Yep. And the value of the home appreciates.
That's right.
Theoretically.
And you're putting... I had this whole conversation with my sister Barbara about this. And she insisted, that they were better off owning a home. And they're glad they bought it when they did.
Yes.
Because now you can't afford a home.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
People can't afford homes. That's true.
We don't really know what it is to own a home.
No.
Well, we know what it is to rent. I mean, we're kind of experts
Yes.
at renting.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I never really got my certification, did you?
I got my certification in living in an apartment for 35 years.
You did.
Well, we both did. We've been living in that apartment for more than 35 years at the Windermere Chateau.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm an expert, though, but...
I think we're an expert in our own experience.
Our own experience, yeah. We know as much about ourselves as anyone else in the world. More.
So, for instance, one of the... Yeah, we're experts on ourselves.
Well, I'm an expert on myself.
And that's all these shows are
not
about.
on you.
This is an expert
I'm not an expert on you.
On what we've experienced for the last many decades.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what BNA is.
Yes. Now, we do have a backyard. It's a beautiful backyard.
That's right.
There are other people that take care of it, and we don't pay them. Well, we
Not
pay
a thing.
taxes, but that's about,
Beautiful in the spring.
We don't have property tax.
Blossoms. And that backyard is Riverside Park.
Yeah.
Right.
Riverside Park, yeah.
Right. And
right by the Hudson
someone
River.
put a really nice statue there, the Joan of Arc statue.
Right, yeah, and there's the
Soldiers
monument.
and Sailors monument.
Soldiers and Sailors monument.
And it's all ours.
Somebody comes and does plays during the summer there.
And they do it for us.
Oh, yeah, they do all kinds of things in our backyard.
Hudson Warehouse does plays there.
I know.
In our backyard.
I know.
And we're very nice because we let other people have picnics there.
Exactly.
And go sledding in the winter.
And we have a playground for our grandson in our backyard.
Again.
We don't need no stinking swing in our backyard. We got a whole friggin' playground.
We have a professional swing.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
and there are people that are caretakers of that playground too.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I read that people like to own homes is because they can change it. They can do whatever they want with the home.
Yeah, well, we do that too.
But the thing is, we do it too.
Yeah.
I mean, the argument is that if you rent, you can't do anything to your
apartment.
Right,
but you can if you some things you can do. You can't do anything you want.
All right. Well,
but you've done things without asking too.
What have we done in that apartment?
Well, you put up a drywall.
I put up a drywall.
Which they weren't happy about.
And built 2 rooms out of 1.
2 rooms out of 1.
I don't think they even knew about it because I didn't tell them.
I know, and they can. I remember the old management. The son.
Mr. Bagelman.
Bagelman's son, right?
Bagelman Jr.
They came in. I don't know what they were looking at. There was a leak in Melanie's apartment, maybe, and they had to go into our closet to patch up the wall.
They didn't say very much.
They came by. They looked at it. Oh, you put a wall up. Like, nice.
Oh, you put a wall up. Right.
Nice. Like they were not happy, but there's nothing they could do.
They didn't do anything. I mean, they could have told me to take it down, but they didn't.
I guess.
I think it made it better.
And then you would have said, "Oh, sure, yeah."
Okay, so the other thing we did is I built a platform. One of the first things we did when we moved to that apartment. Was I built a platform at one end of the
living room.
And Bert Cruz and I built it, my good friend who we just saw. And we had lumber that was bigger than the elevator in order to build the platform all the way across the room.
Yeah.
And the lumber was about 12, 13, 14 feet long.
I know. And how did you get it up to the apartment?
We pulled it up the outside of the building.
Totally illegally.
Absolutely illegal. Bert was on the bottom. holding one end of the rope. I was in the other, and I was hoisting it up.
And do you know what the people were saying?
We did it all on the weekend.
You know what those people in the streets were saying as they were walking by?
I don't know.
They were looking up at this wood flying up and going into the seventh floor window, and they were going, "Oh, I think that must be illegal."
No, I think it was saying I didn't know you could do that. Oh,
see, George, I told you.
I told you. You can build a loft up there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just you can pull the wood up that way.
Look, they're doing it. They're professionals.
Yeah.
And we've had that platform, our little stage, for 35 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
but
almost 40 years.
It wasn't only that. We took down a friggin' wall.
We did. That we got permission to do, though.
Well, we did ask permission.
I mean, that is
right.
a wall.
Yeah.
And we had to make sure it wasn't a load-bearing wall, so,
right.
Yeah. And we had seen that this particular wall, because all the apartments are had been taken down in other apartments, so we knew it was okay.
But we did get it, and now we're going to have our floor redone.
Well,
and this is all...
Well, that's all good for them, though. Though, even so, we could paint our floor. We could do anything to the floor. Because once we die, we move out, whatever, they're going to come in and totally...
And up the rent and
upgrade it and whatever.
Because in our building, that particular one bedroom, they're getting many thousands of dollars for it, which we as rent-stabilized tenants of many, many years
there's the hitch right there. We're rent stabilized.
Right.
And, I get a little ticked off at people complaining about that.
I think it should be everywhere should be like that.
Everywhere should be that way. And the fact is that...
And then the landlords wouldn't make any money.
When we moved in 1979, they needed renters. And that's why they had rent stabilization. It was a tax abatement for the landlords. Mm-hmm. And they needed us. And they were happy to have us. And so you can't just say,
we
I'm
paid
sorry,
our dues.
35 years, 40 years later that, now you guys are second-class citizens. Yeah,
right.
We want you out of here.
Well, in this building, we are second-class citizens.
I know.
But we belong. I feel that the Windermere Chateau, we've been there for a long time.
I know. That's been our home since all of our married life.
That's right. Our children grew up there.
Yes.
And yet our daughter now wants to buy a home.
Yeah, but she wants to... Yeah. But she'd like to have that apartment that we have.
She still wants the apartment, right?
Yeah, she wants to have
she
her
has to move in for about a year.
But anyway, she does. She wants to buy a home. She's lived in an apartment her whole life, and she wants to buy a home. She wants to buy a home out in the country.
Yeah.
So she's going to have both. She's going to rent in the city and have a country home.
I would imagine.
Would be nice.
I would imagine that people who would see us putting money into a rental, it's like we're putting money into improving something that we have no equity in whatsoever.
Yeah.
And yet we're now going to spend $1,000+ on redoing the floor. Right?
Right.
It's not an investment.
No. Well, it's an investment in our happiness.
All right. That's where I'm coming from. Is that, we're only here for a certain amount of double years.
Yeah.
And you want to be happy.
Exactly.
And so if you're making your decisions on whether or not you're spending a lot of money or you're putting money away, whether you're putting money and you're buying a house for equity, maybe it really doesn't make any difference.
It's all about your happiness, right?
Maybe it's right. So I just bought this glass of wine.
Uh-huh.
It's not an investment.
No, you're just going to drink it.
I'm just going to drink it. I'm just using it.
Because it makes you happy.
I'm using it right now, and I kind of think of that as the rent.
Now, would it be better to own a vineyard?
I don't know.
Be a big headache.
Yeah.
I just like to drink the wine.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question. Are children do better in a rental or if they grow up in a house?
So there's some study, there's an answer to this?
There's an answer to this.
I'm going to say...
Do they do better in school if they are raised in a house or if they're raised in a rental?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say a house.
Yeah. According to studies, that's
more
right.
More stable, maybe?
Okay, you got the word. It's more stable because people tend to stay in a house because they put money into it.
Exactly, yeah.
But if you are stable in a rental, like we've been, then you're going to do just as well.
Is that the case?
It's the stability.
The stability.
It's not the house.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So.
Sure.
And the other question was, who's healthier, people in rentals or people in houses? And again, you would guess.
I'm gonna go with rentals as well. I don't know. I mean, houses, there's a lot of headaches, so it could cause stress. But then on the other hand, you kind of assume the people that live in rentals, they're more transient, which is another kind of headache, another kind of stress.
Yeah, and the studies show that people who live in houses are healthier. Healthier.
Okay.
Maybe because they're not in the city.
Yeah, it's up.
And also, there's a lot of problems with some rentals in which the landlord doesn't, keep it up well. So, I mean, the health issue. I think our place though is okay.
I guess so.
Generally.
Yeah.
Though I'm afraid of mold.
Yeah.
Another study was who makes better citizens, renters or owners of houses?
Better citizens. So
Better
wait, first
citizens.
you have to think about what's the quality of being a citizen.
Yeah.
Are you involved in some kind of charitable organization? Are you contributing to the community? Are you law-abiding? I'm gonna go with house again because I still think that there's a lot of problems with inner city, maybe, which kind of would skew that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm a great citizen.
Right. Well, okay. According to studies, people who own houses are better citizens.
And why is that?
Because one, they're stable.
Okay, stable.
And they've got equity in the community. So they're interested in keeping things going well.
Okay.
But it's very self-serving.
I think that's
because the more money they have in the house, the more they're going to be involved in local politics and local community organizations.
And I think that might be very different for New York, though.
I think it is.
Because I think in New York, people live in their apartments for a long time, whether they own their apartments or rent. They live in them for a long time. They're city people, and I think they do feel very invested in their city. So it's hard for me to, I think there are probably communities where, the people that live in apartment buildings are probably more transient. And don't have the same investment in their...
If you look at our building, what's good, where we live, you're going to find out that that we have people that are committed there.
Yep.
At least they're committed to each other, and we do have in our building, especially the people who've lived there for a long time. We have a community.
Yes, we do.
And we just had a Christmas party.
Right.
We know each other.
Right. Yes. And it's the same faces every year. We don't move.
We don't.
No one moves from the Upper West Side if you get a nice place.
Melanie is our neighbor.
Yep.
Charlene has been our neighbor.
Yep.
Sam, who I hardly see, he's been our neighbor for
since
a number
our
of years.
children were little.
We know people who lived there and died there.
Yes.
I mean, it is a community.
Yes.
And to say that renters are like disassociated from the people around them is not true.
Is that what the study says?
Yeah, because we're not stable.
I see.
Right. But I find people who live in houses, they aren't necessarily connected to as many people as we are.
But I don't think that you can look at this issue based on our experience. I think you have to look across the country. Where are the apartment buildings? I mean, most of them are in the city.
The thing is, all I have to go on is my experience of
renting.
I know. And I know it's a unique experience, but renting doesn't mean you can't be a good citizen. I mean, we've had any numbers of shows, and I started making a listing of people who are probably renters. New Yorkers for Hong Kong, True Blue New York, Indivisible Harlem, Transportation Alternatives.
You mean those people that were involved in their community probably rent their apartments?
They probably rent. They live in New York, they probably rent. And they're very committed.
Not New Yorkers own, but they're young. So it's probably,
I don't think these people that we had on the show
maybe not
own. I think they're probably all renters.
It's
and
hard
they're committed.
to know, but maybe not, yeah.
I mean, look at Alina, our co-producer. She's committed to all kinds of stuff, and I don't think she owns. Maybe.
Oh, I think they probably do.
You think they own?
I think they do.
Right, they have a lot of money. Okay. Well, there's that argument down there.
I think her husband does okay.
Yeah. The last thing that I had is the idea of privacy. That homeowners, they have a home because they are private.
It's probably more private, yeah, definitely.
Than we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I tell you, so you see your neighbor in the hall sometimes. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, and our walls are pretty thick.
I hear our neighbor.
Yeah.
Some people own homes that are connected too.
Yeah, I'm afraid sometimes they hear us.
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. Okay.
There was one time you had a typewriting company once, and it was very loud.
Oh, I know.
And our neighbors complained about it.
I know. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. I just would not want to live in a house.
I wouldn't balk at living in a house, but I would want the house to be in New York City.
Yeah, but there's no way you can afford it.
No, I know.
There's no way you can afford a house or a condo in New York City.
Nope.
You know, our good friend the Rubens, they can.
Well, yeah.
And they live in a neighborhood.
They worked hard and they did well, and they have a nice place.
And they have a really nice place that they own.
Yeah.
And they're putting equity into it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking through, and that's all the notes I have.
Okay.
There you go.
It doesn't sound like the renters come out on top here.
I think it's a mixed deal, and I think it's a wash on one side or the other. I don't want a home in that way. I don't want to have to worry about...
you never have wanted one of those.
No.
Never wanted a home. Because we actually talked about it at one point early in our relationship.
Yeah, I don't think it was possible even then because we didn't have the money. But the idea of like having to take care of the plumbing and doing all the repairs because I have to do the repairs, rather than calling the landlord and saying, "Hey, look, the sink's plugged up."
I want a little tiny bungalow on Thule's property.
So we can go visit, right?
No, I want my own little space
with running water and all.
Yeah.
Okay, well this is barcrawlradio, and we're talking about renting versus owning.
And we're here at 5 Napkins. 5 Napkin. I always say that wrong. 5 Napkin.
I gave this man our card and he didn't take it.
Whatever.
All right.
What does he know?
There you go, Bo.
What does he know? We're just really great to listen to.
I just want to say one thing. This show is going to post before the one I'm talking about. But we had a great time with the Angst and Daisies people.
Yes, we did.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes, we did.
With Caroline Aaron and Steve Saporito. And Caroline Aaron is on The Amazing Mrs. Maisel.
She's a great heart. She was really sweet.
She was very
easy
sweet.
to talk with.
Very smart.
And Steve was super smart. Both of them were super smart. But Steve has all this, knowledge about politics and the people.
And we may get back together with them, which I'm looking forward to.
For another date.
And Paul, again, our good friend that we mentioned earlier in this recording, knows another actor on The Amazing Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, really?
The one who plays the secretary.
Oh, that's
to
right.
The clothing factory.
I can't quite.
I'm thinking we get them Mrs. Maisel Senior together, and the loony secretary.
Okay.
And get them together and see what happens.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to?
All right. Well, you don't want to?
I don't mind. I don't know how. I don't envision it. I don't envision. You're the idea guy. You're the idea guy.
I don't know. I thought it might be fun. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, so we're not having dinner because you already ate, right?
I did.
So we're going to finish our drinks.
I was going to have a snack, though, to finish this off.
All right. Okay, we'll have a snack. Okay, everyone, signing off from 5 Napkin.
Oh, I think, wait. We got a visitor here. Is this Alex?
Oh, Alex, hey. How you doing? We're just finishing up. All right, that's Alex.
I thought you would invite him to talk on the mic.
I did, and he said no.
Oh, when?
When I first met him.
Oh, ever. Oh, I see.
Well, he said maybe sometime, but not now. I said, I'll bring an extra mic. He said, no.
Okay.
Maybe sometime when I have something to say.
Okay. All right. Well,
I mean, you don't need to have anything to say.
You didn't ask
him
if he had anything to say.
Yeah, but look, he just ran off.
I know. Well, you scared him off.
I mean, here we did a whole show. We had nothing to say.
Well, it's true. You don't have to have anything to say.
You don't have anything to say to do a show. Yeah. All right.
Renting or buying.
And this is barcrawlradio number 8. Renting
or buying.
Renting. And next time we'll come up with a better topic.
We promise.
We promise. We absolutely promise. Maybe. If I can think of one. All right. Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, honey.
Good night.
Good night. Love you.
Love you.